The last four sections are pretty self-explanatory. I do want to draw your attention to some of the required information that you're going to be asked to provide. If you'll turn in your booklet to the 6th page, it says high school course and grade information. What that's going to ask you to do is give a brief snapshot of all the courses that you have currently taken or are currently taking right now. You can find a list of what courses are equal to what they're talking about on page 6. The directions for filling out the document are on the test booklet itself. It tells you what the purpose is. It's going to ask you for courses that you have taken, that you're plan to take, or that you are currently enrolled in. So even if you have not taken the course yet, you need to indicate whether or not you intend to take the course before you graduate. So for example, English for a 9th grade credit. All of you have taken that. So you're going to indicate, I have taken it, and you're going to bubble in this bubble. To the best of your recollection, I want you to think about what grade you earned in that course. If you are currently taking that course, you're going to fill in the same bubble. So if you're currently in CA1, you're going to bubble in, I am currently taking that course, and I am currently making approximately a B. If you have not taken one of these courses, you're going to fill in either, I have not taken this course, but I plan to, I will, or I have not taken this course and I do not plan to. In the event that you have not taken one of the courses, you will not need to put in a grade for that course. The next section is the student profile section at the bottom of that. This takes a considerable amount of time. And what they're asking for here, you can find beginning on page 7 in your booklet. And it asks you a series of questions that correspond to each of the bubbles in the test document. And again, it's pretty self-explanatory. Pay close attention to any of the prompts that have a bolded section, because that is a specific thing that they're looking for. I want to draw your attention to question number 11 and 12, which asks you which college major do you plan to study and what do you think your first choice of occupation or vocation might be. Those things can be found on the very next page. Just like with your university choice, they're broken down by major according to alphabet. So if you plan to study computers, something related to computers, you would go to the purple section marked Computers, Science, and Mathematics. Question 11 is typically going to be a code that is bolded. So in this case, Computer and Information Sciences General would go in question number 11. And that code is 460, so I would bubble in 460. And number 12 is asking for something that might be related to computer and information underneath that bolded. So I plan to get a job in computer networking and telecommunications. That code, 461, would go in 12. Each of the corresponding questions then for your student profile section go numerically in order, beginning on page 7. All it's asking you to do is read the prompt and bubble in the correct information in your student profile section. And the student profile section continues on the next page. That section, the interest inventory, is slightly different. The interest inventory are things related to activities, organizations that you might like to do on campus when you get to school, or in the community when you get to the school of your choice. And so what it's asking you to do in the interest inventory on page 3 is each of these prompts calls for one of 3 answers. I would dislike doing this activity would be scored with a D. I'm indifferent or I don't care whether or not I do that activity with an I. Or I would like to do that activity, and you're going to mark that with an L. So, prompt 1 says, explore a science museum. If you think you might like to explore a science museum, you would bubble in the L. If you don't care whether the community or the college has a science museum, you would bubble in an I. And if you would dislike to go to a science museum, you would bubble in a D. For each of the 72 prompts, you need to have a response on your document, completed, bubbled in, and dark as you have the rest of the document. In the last section on this page is the email address section. Like it states, it is an optional section. The advantage of bubbling in the email address option is that back here on the first page where it says Educational Opportunity Services, they can mail you opportunities or they can email you information, such as my scores have been sent on this date to this school, or other college related. They're going to share this information with the universities and colleges that you have put in section M. So a college or a university, when they receive your scores, now they will have your email address where they can reach you to send you additional information about the school. So there is a great benefit for filling in the email address. It doesn't harm you in any way. It might mean that you get some junk emails from some people, college-related junk emails from ACT that you don't need, but it is extremely advantageous to you to get relevant information from the schools and from ACT. So just like you've done before, you're going to write your email address. I've done my student email address. If you would prefer to get your information in a different email, you certainly may put it there. You don't have to use your student email. And then make sure you bubble in the corresponding bubbles. And down below you'll see there ats, dashes, periods, and underscores. And there's a key up here around the second part of the document. That's really the last part that we have to fill out. You do not want to have any marks, and your teacher will make sure that you have no marks before you leave today inside the test booklet. These are where your answers are going to go. If your test booklet is marked in any way on these 2 pages, you will have to get a blank document from one of the test supervisors today, and you will have to start this process over. So please make sure you are not marking on page 4 or page 5. Only mark on the appropriate portions. When you are done with your document, take your document to the advisor. He or she will check your work, making sure that you have neatly bubbled in all the required information. Once you have received their approval, you may go ahead and go to Eagle Hour or to lunch. Thank you very much for your participation and your clear focus.